Hi, I am Subramanyam with Durga Software Solutions, Hyderabad. Durga Software Solutions is giving a wonderful platform, global platform for many youngsters to learn advanced techniques to improve their soft skills. We are learning soft skills. In the process of learning soft skills, one of the most crucial soft skills people always, the corporate interviewers, recruiters expect in candidates from job seekers is communication skills. What is that? Communication skills. The moment we hear the sound of communication, we think that English is not communication. Communication is beyond the English, That is the problem in India. The moment we hear the word, we listen the word, the moment we see that word, listen the word, we think that communication is about English. Speaking English is different from communication skills. Communication skills are beyond that. Communication skills are there in every language in the world, not only in English. We think that English speaking is equated with the communication skills like that. No, it is not like that. So communication skills, I'll give you greatest insights, greatest tips, greatest information about these communication skills now. Communication skills is, the definition of communication skills is given like this by social scientists or communication skills experts: exchanging our information to the other person, exchanging or sharing or expressing our ideas to the people for better understanding of each other. When I am talking to you, when I am expressing my ideas, it should easily understood by the other person. Communication involves many aspects. Those we are talking about. Generally, when communication happens, for happening communication in our day-to-day life, two people must be needed. Two elements are needed. What are those two elements and how the communication process happens? Before that, let me give you the statistics of communication skills, the importance of communication skills in the workplace, wherever you work, wherever you try to work. 90% of the problems will crop up in our personal, professional and social life because of communication skills or lack of communication skills. 90% of our day-to-day problems will come up either lack of communication skills or absence of communication skills. What is the solution? The solution is 90% of the problems also will be sorted out through effective, powerful communication. 90% of the problems will also be sorted out through proper communication only. There is no other go, because the problems are created by either communication or absence of communication. So these skills are very, very demanded. Most demanded skills in soft skills is communication skills, not English, communication skills. So communication skills is also called as mother of all soft skills. Communication skills is also called as a mother of all soft skills. There are 62 corporate soft skills. There are 62 corporate soft skills, out of which communication skills is one among them, but it is called mother of all soft skills. Why mother of all soft skills? Because if you master these skills, you can master remaining 61 skills so easily. right? So that is the reason why it is called mother of all soft skills. Now let us come to the discussion of how the communication happens. What is the process of communication generally happens, we will see now. To happen communication, as we understood that, we discussed that two elements are required. What are those two elements? Two people. Number one is sender, receiver. Not speaker and receiver. It is S stands for not speaker. It's a sender. This is receiver. To happen communication, we need two people. We need two elements. These two elements or two people are sender and receiver. When the sender sends information or message, the sender sends message in three ways. The sender sends message three ways. Number one is words. Sender passes information or any message. This message he sends. This is message. He sends through three ways. Number one, words. Number one, voice. Number three, visual. Three types of ways: words, voice and visual. Almost words gives only 7% of impression in communication process. 38% of impression or fetching goes through your voice. 55% of our communication happens through visual or body language. We call it as a body language. When the sender is sending message through words, through voice, through visual, the receiver receives and he also communicates through the same, through words, through voice, through visual. That is the reason why I have put like this. Sender sends and then receiver also gives his feedback. This is called feedback. The receiver also gives feedback through these three channels. One is words, one is voice, another one is visual. These are the three ways of communicating our ideas. Our communication happens, the process of communication happens like this. This is the mechanism of the communication. Communication mechanism to happen, two people are needed. Number one is a sender, number two is a receiver. Sender sends the message through words, voice, visual. Again, once the receiver receives the information or communication, he also sends feedback to the sender through this visual, voice and words. When sender is sending the message to the receiver, there is a channel. We need a channel. That channel is English. That channel is language. It could be any language in the world. Spanish, German, Chinese, French, Hindi, English, Telugu, any language that could be. The channel he uses is called our language. It could be anything, either English or Telugu or Hindi, anything. It is not only English, but many non-native speakers of English or in general, people equate communication skills with English language. No, it is not like that. Good. So I hope you understood this, how the mechanism of communication happens, what is the communication skill. And when we are sending this message through this channel with the help of these three ways, words, voice and visual, to the receiver, why your words gives 7% of impression. But these are very crucial, you know. Have you ever experienced this one? How does it look like? How does it look like? Burger, right? So when we eat burger, do we buy burger only this upper part and lower part? Without this stuff? If we want to eat only the upper part and lower part, and there is no meaning of going for burger. You can give only 10 rupees and then they will give a big bun or bread. So what I mean to say that these words, even though the words give only 7% of impression, but it is equal to this stuff. So choosing the words are very crucial, are very important in communication. Once we speak, that spoken words cannot be retrieved anytime in our life. So people may forget what you have spoken, but they never forget how you made them to feel about your speaking. So words have power. Choose appropriate, be very choosy and selective in using the words while communicating. Many celebrities today fail utterly in communication. As I said, 90% of the problems crop up in our personal, professional, social life. Latest example, many celebrities, they slip their tongue. Today they lost huge business in their career. They are almost out of their career today. They are almost out of their success today. Many examples. If you read through the newspapers, you will understand that how these celebrities are making their career lagging behind their success because of their communication ability. Not only film stars, even sports personalities, even politicians, they speak like anything and then they say sorry, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean that, and only this they throw the blame on news channels and news people. Many things, every day, on a daily basis, on a regular basis, you will experience this kind of wrong uses of the words, and then slipping their tongue and then seeking for excuse. Now, voice. 38% of our communication happens through our voice. Voice means raising and falling tone of our voice according to the context. So generally when we are speaking, when we are making any statements, we need to use flat voice. Flat voice means we are just announcing the statements. Today the government has decided to announce SSC results. Today the government is releasing results of intermediate. These are the statements. But when questions, yes or no questions, we need to raise our voice. For example, are you coming with me? Are you going there? Aren't you coming today? This kind of things. But when we prepare WH and how question words, WH and how questions, we need to fall our voice, lower our voice. Where are you going? What are you doing? We can, what are you doing? No, say what are you doing? Where are you going? Where are you working? What are you working? What are you doing now? This kind of lower voice we should. But the problem with Indians are non-native speakers of English. I am talking about not only Indians, I am talking about non-native speakers of English language. We don't know where to raise our voice, where to lower our voice. That is where we make a flat speech all the time, and you will make a mistake. You see DD8 or DD1 channel, the speakers, the news presenters, they don't distinguish between lower our voice and raise their voice according to the context. So we need to have that special ability to present. That comes under communication skills. So if the interviewer is saying that you are not going to be selected, we need to say, is it? How? Really? Thank you. So no expression. If there are no expressions, if there is no voice tonality, this is called tonality, raising and falling tone of your voice, then there is no meaning of your communication, right? Then how do you fetch your impression in the interview or in a group discussion or in your presentation or in your business meetings or business presentations? There is no meaning of that. So communication plays vital role. This is the reason why people always give highest importance to our communication skills nowadays, right? But people in India, people are more emotional while speaking. When we are coming to the public speaking, when we are giving any communication or speech, we need to take the things situationally, intelligently, but we take the things so emotionally, and we lose our cool, and we lose our job, we lose our success, we lose our fetching. No way. Always go situationally. You can speak hours together, but when you take the things emotionally, you get stuck. Your ideas will not flow. You will not be free to make your ideas flow in your communication. That is the reason why always be balanced in your speech. Take the things situationally, but not emotionally. That is where communication skills are very crucial for success in any profession. Now, visual communication. Visual communication stands for body language. How we use our gestures. Let me write this. Visual communication almost consists of, the body language consists of 4 points. Number 1 is eye contact. Number 1 is eye contact. Number 2 is your gestures, postures, and your dressing or handshake. It is not shake hand. People wrongly spell this word shake hand. So if I give shake, while giving handshake, if I shake, that is called shake hand, but it is not true. The right word is it's a handshake according to Brit English. Now eye contact. So your eye contact speaks 3 things, Your eye contact speaks 3 things. Number 1 is how confident enough you are, how trustworthy you are, how genuine you are. How confident about your presentation, how confident about yourself, how genuine you are, genuinity, authenticity, authoritative. Next, trustworthy, whether you are trustworthy, believer or not, whether audience can believe you or not. So 3 things will be spoken by through your eye contact. So eye contact is very crucial for success of your presentation in the interviews or even in your business presentations. So in the communication process, your eye contact is very important, and in your communication, your gestures are important. So you need to use your gestures. Your gestures means your hand movements. Hand movements should be given complete freedom, not putting your hands in the pocket or keeping your hands on the back or folding your arms. No. Absolutely, you can use your gestures to add value to your communication. If you use open gestures, but not like pointing out, you don't know anything, you know everything, like that. No, it is a blaming gesture. Rather than you use open gestures. Yes, I do welcome your ideas. You are right. You are perfectly correct? This is open gestures. This is a blaming gestures. Avoid these and say that, yes, I welcome your points. You can keep always your hands like this and then start using your gestures according to the requirements, according to the voice, according to your words. It will add some sort of sound to your communication. People love enjoying your body language. They celebrate your communication skills. They love to listen to you. Ask together. That's the reason why many successful people today, they use body language to make their success easier. Now, come to this posture. Posture means the walking and standing. The way you walk, the way you stand. Many people make wrong impression while standing, like wisdom or lenience or falling on the board, standing casually in the on the public domain. So it is not good. So when you are giving any presentation or public speaking, that comes under communication process. So when you are giving any communication or presentation or communicating your ideas to the people, always be very conscious about your postures, the way you stand, the way you walk, the way you sit. When you are coming to the dais, always come either left side or right side, not in the middle of the stage. Always come either right side or left side to the dais and then give your presentation. Never get down from the dais in between, in the middle, from the middle part. You can go either left side or right side. Next, handshake and dressing. Dressing should be very, your dressing speaks how much care and attention you are giving to the audience. Why should the audience listen to you unless you care them, unless you respect them? How do you respect and care them? Through your dressing. The way you dress speaks about how much respect you give to the other people. That is the power words, powerful thing about your communication. Communication is not about just speaking. That is the problem for many students. We think that your communication skills is not good. That means only your speaking ability. No, it involves all about your dressing also. The way you packed yourself, professional packaging. If the packaging is good, people buy easily. For example, I'll give you one example. What is that one example? Take water packets. Water packets, outside we love, wherever we want to drink water, we will take 1 rupee and then give it and then we drink. See that water packaging and by paying 20 rupees and then buy the Kenley water bottle. See the difference between the water, the package style also. This water is packed like anything because 1 rupee water, that paper costs almost 75 paise or 50 paise. Then what kind of quality they can give, what kind of packaging style they do, they just do as they like. See the quality or the outward appearance of that 1 rupee water packet and 20 rupees water bottle. 20 rupees water bottle is packed so nicely in such a way that anybody, the moment we look, we love to buy, even we don't experience the pain of paying 20 rupees. But here 1 rupee, even we pay 1 rupee, we feel that it's a waste of giving 1 rupee for this packet. The packaging is very important. Outward appearance, that matters a lot in your communication. Now coming to this handshake. Handshake should always be horizontal. It is not like limp handshake. Limp handshake means like this. Girls, whenever you generally we give handshake to the girls or female, they always just like that. Fishing touch, we say fishing handshake. It is not good. Always give handshake like a completely touching with your, close with your thumb, and then keep your handshake for 4 seconds and take back. The etiquette of your handshake is when you give handshake horizontally, within 4 seconds we need to take back without shaking your hand with other people. The moment you are shaking the hands, other person feel offended, other person feel embarrassed. In India, it is very common, but in advanced countries, no. Americans, Brit people and Australians, these people are Japanese, advanced countries in the world, they know the power of handshake. Handshake is the first communication, the first point of contact with other people. In business, in politics, in any kind of professional, formal situations, your handshake speaks lot many things. Before you open your mind, before you open your mouth. So handshake is so important, friends. Never ignore that. So if we really take care of all these things, 55% of our communication happens through this only body language. 38% voice, 7% of our words. So communication involves all these parameters. Did I speak anything about spoken English here? Did I speak anything about English? There is nothing to do with English. This is about communication. It is not spoken English. Spoken English is completely different aspect, different ball game. That is learning the nuances of English grammar, learning the grammar part, learning the vocabulary, learning the syntaxes. That is called spoken English. But in communication skills are different than spoken English. And these communication skills are there in every language in the world. When the sender is sending the message through this channel, that is a language, through these three areas, and the receiver is also sending the feedback through these three channels, there are some flaws, mistakes happen. That is the reason why the receiver does not receive the information the way the sender intends to send. I will repeat the same sentence again. When communication is happening, why the receiver does not receive the same information the sender is intending? The intentions of the sender is not understood by the receiver exactly, because there are communication barriers. What are the communication barriers? Communication barriers. What are the communication barriers? Communication barriers means the receiver does not receive the way the sender intends to receive. Means, I will simplify the message. Sender sends the message by keeping one point in mind. The receiver does not understand, does not perceive, does not receive the way the sender intends to receive. His intentions are not easily understood by receiver the way he understands. That is where there are communication barriers happen. The communication gap. Why the communication gap happens? Communication gap or communication barriers happen. I will give you the reasons. Number one reason is, you see, lack of psychological reasons, lack of good listening skills, lack of listening skills, lack of good listening skills, the distance, conceived notions, speaker reputation or speaker's reputation Many things are there. There are many things. These are, I just mentioned only few things. What are those few things? Psychological reasons of the receiver. If the receiver is not in a mood to receive the way the speaker intends, obviously communication breaks up. Communication gap happens. Communication barrier happens. This is the biggest barrier. The receiver thinks that I know everything. What he speaks, what does he speak, I know everything, you know. So when the listener has this perception, psychological pre-planned, pre-proposed ideas, then the communication automatically does not go the way sender sends the information. Second, lack of good listening skills. If the listener or if the receiver does not have good listening skills, absolutely communication gap happens, and this is one of the biggest. Almost 63% of the problems happen in the workplace or in personal, professional and social life, lack of good listening skills. Now, distance. When I am talking in the public domain or in the presentation on the dais, even the distance also matters most. The distance is very far, then the barrier automatically happens. Next, attention deviates. When the person is sitting close by, nearby, then he pays a lot of attention. That is the reason in the schools and colleges and in any seminars, people always, the speakers like us, we always ask the people, please come on and sit in the front row, please occupy the front rows. Why we say? Because the distance makes the communication gap and it becomes barrier. Distance is one of the biggest barriers of communication. Next, preoccupied notions about the trainer, about the speaker, about the communicator. This person, I don't like this person, I don't like the way he speaks. If the receiver has preconceived notions, then obviously communication barrier happens. The speaker reputation. If speaker has bad reputation, if speaker has created bad impact in the previous communications, obviously the listener definitely breaks his head and obviously the communication gap happens. This is also one of the biggest barriers in communication. Then to avoid all these gaps and barriers or semantic barriers, to overcome these barriers, communication barriers, we need to follow 6 C's of an effective communication.